This week's episode of the Inside Running Podcast is proudly sponsored by On. On Track Night Series takes over the Zatopek 10 this December in Melbourne. On Track Night celebrates the running community. The shared passion, the competition and the camaraderie, it's all there. High energy affairs with loud crowds pushing athletes to greater heights. Join us as Lakeside Stadium comes to life on December 2nd. Visit ontracknights.com for more information.
Child, that your skin can bring you so much pain. Now I hear you say you got the best of both ways. Won't you come and take a walk in my shoes and tell me if you take my place?
Welcome to episode number 311 of the Inside Running Podcast. Thank you for joining us for another week. Big show coming at you. We've got our two winners coming on the show tonight. The two winners of the Melbourne Marathon that happened yesterday. Reece Edwards and Gemma Maini be joining us throughout this episode. We got all the running news that happened over the last week. Listen to question, Moose on the loose, might have some whispers potentially, and a bit of what's coming up stuff a bit later in the show. Welcome to my co-host. He's coming in hard today, he reckons, just telling me some big stories off air. Bradley Croker, I'm going to be liking this energy. How are you this week?
I'm good, Brady. I think it's the other way around. I think there's a bit of Brady on the moose this week, which I'm looking forward to.
Brady on the moose?
Brady on the loose.
I don't want to be on the moose.
Had a big few days. Brady on the loose.
A few things got under my skin over the last week, Croaks, and I'm looking forward to talking about that. But how are you?
I'm good. Back
That's
from
good.
Noosa.
How was Noosa? Geez, you look good in the suit. I saw that photo pop up on Viv's Instagram.
It was lovely, actually. Like, we had really good weather. You know it's a good weather day when you can go down at like 3 p.m. to the beach and it's not blowing a gale and the ocean's still quite smooth. Because you know how the wind often picks up in the afternoon around the coast. It was it was really nice.
My other co-host, he was on the streets of Melbourne yesterday, lives in Anglesea usually though. Julian Spence, how are you going this week?
I'm going pretty good, thanks. And Noosa is a different environment on the beach than a lot of the beaches down here. There's no flies, for one, which make it just a dream to lie out. And then the sand's nice and fluffy. The water's warm. Any time of the year you can go in without a wetsuit on. It's just delicious.
Yeah, running's still not great. I ran, 2 runs up there? That was enough.
Where'd you go? You go into the national park?
No. When I was up there for training camps, like years and years ago, like we did so many laps around there, and you're just constantly dodging people. So I went more on the big wide bike path, sort of towards Noosaville, and then there's like Lake Weber Road or something. It's like a 2K straight section. Not a lot of traffic, and so I just didn't want to have to like dodge people.
That's where I did that workout when I was up there. Up and down that road. It's okay. I mean, it's just a fucking road, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's better than running through the national park, dodging people.
Yeah. It's too sandy in there as well. Geez, we complain about Noosa a lot.
Yeah. That and the Gold Coast. Two most complained places about that. How are you, Moose? How was the streets of Melbourne yesterday? We'll get into it a bit later, but been back and forth?
Yeah. It was cool to be up there. So many runners. Like I've normally when I watch a race, I'll watch the athletes that I'm coaching go past and maybe chuck a drink out to them and then get on my bike and go to the next spot. But because I was following Brady and she was in the half, I went out and I was staying at about the 3K mark of the race. So on St Kilda Road. So I just went out and watched the marathoners go through, and they started an hour before the half. And I've never really watched the entire marathon pack go past. It just goes forever. It's just so many people. And at the start, there's like Liam comes past, super quick, massive gap already to the second pack, and they're all in the one sort of spot on the road. And then as the rest of the pack comes in, a couple go into the other lane on the other side, but then everyone just starts streaming down the actual footpath and the sidewalk. So I was standing there with Pia, and we were just watching, but we were actually in the middle of about, well, I don't know, 15, how many runners? 10,000 runners coming towards us. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, okay. I haven't looked up how many finishes there were. But remember at Sydney when we were watching the start of the half marathon and they just keep flowing through?
Yeah.
And
it's a lot of people.
It is, yeah.
People. And you can, and you know what the funniest bit was? Is watching all the people that have slept in and they
missed the start.
They missed the start. And they're like 15 minutes behind the pack. There'll just be a bloke charging along who's obviously card in start or whatever. And it went all the way to a half an hour back. There were still people coming through with marathon bibs on, and they weren't slow people. They were just late to the start line.
Oh, that's your worst nightmare, isn't it?
We have nightmares about that for sure.
I'm going to say I've had those nightmares before.
Yeah.
I don't know in the nightmares do I ever actually start the race though.
Yeah, well, these guys do, and it's a long day out there by themselves. They'll probably start catching people about like 10K, and then they just roll through the entire, well, a lot of the field anyway. If they're like a 3-hour guy, then they're going to catch probably like 2/3 of the field.
Before we get too deep in run and chat, the most important piece of information we need from you: how did Bree go?
Bree went well, really well. She surprised herself. She's had like some of that virusy stuff I've had, and she's had a couple of little niggles, like a back niggle and a hamstring niggle. So she wasn't expecting too much, but she jumped out there and she didn't get a preferred start or anything. So she got caught up in the start line, and so she spent the first K or so like trying to get around people, and then worked her way through really well. Ran evenly, ran faster towards the end, ran a big PB. So really? 83 minutes she ran. She was really happy, and yeah, she did well. I got out on course, saw her. I rode next to her through the Albert Park with Pia on the bike seat. That was really cool. But both of those guys enjoyed that. Gave her a bit of a pop in her step, and then she was just as we were riding next to her, she just kept going around people, and so she ended up passing really well, like passing through the field. And I had a few ladies in front of her that I knew that she knew, and she ended up passing most of them.
So were you getting like ultra competitive and being like, this girl's 35 seconds up, you can get her?
No, I wasn't doing that.
Splits?
I wasn't doing that. I was pretty tame. I'm not her coach anymore. Ellie looks after her training, so I was just a supporter on the sideline.
I do want to get to that because you made a comment about how husband-wife, partner-spouse, coaching-athlete relationships don't work after Burnley Half Marathon. Remember that? When you're lipping off Mattress and Gemma? And I said, let's just wait and see what happens at Melbourne Marathon in a month's time.
I don't think it'll work long term.
Oh, well, it worked yesterday, but we'll chat about that a bit later on when we're talking to Gemma. Let's whistle through these weeks. Do you want to take us away, Croaks? Tell us what it was like running up at Noosa.
So Monday I was still in Canberra, so I just did just 8K, 4:34s, and then Tuesday morning before we flew out, I did an hour in Mulligan's at 4:33s. And so then Wednesday morning was my first run up there, just like another 8K, 4:20s. It's pretty easy to sort of get rolling up there because it's warm, it's dead flat. And I only took the one pair of running shoes because I did want to do a session on the Thursday. So I took took my Super Blast because I thought it's pretty versatile. I can do a bit of a session in those and, obviously jogging them as well, which brings me to the Thursday morning. The session was 6 by 3 minutes, 1 minute slow jog in between. Felt actually pretty good. Like these were all between like 3:30 and 3:35 K pace. So, not super fast, but it's, faster than anything I've done for 3 or 4 months. And, heart rate got reasonably high. And obviously the air's just a bit thicker up there, a bit more humidity. Happy to get through that.
Did you enjoy running fast again, or was it so messy because you haven't run that fast in a while that it wasn't enjoyable? Do you know what I mean by that question?
Yeah, that was enjoyable, but I guess it's still in terms of the speed, it's still so much slower than what I would normally run 3-minute reps at. So it actually didn't feel like I was running that fast.
Yeah, okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like 330s to 335s is not, I don't feel biomechanically like stretched at that sort of pace. But from a fitness point of view, I certainly didn't need to go any faster than that.
Yeah.
Plus plus the heat the heat and humidity just, sort of gradually catch up on you a little bit on that session. I didn't run Friday. Had a few beers on the Thursday night at the wedding, and then I was meant to run when we got home on the Saturday, but I just couldn't be arsed, so didn't run Friday or Saturday. And then Sunday, got out for 80 minutes out at Mulligan's. So I do want to try and do one longish run a week, and I won't go any longer than 90 minutes until sort of Christmas. But did 80 minutes, 4:24s, so just over 18K, which is, my longest run since the end of June. So it's a week of 61K.
Good. Longest run in a while and first kind of workout. Yeah,
our second workout. I did one here in Canberra with my crew the week before, just a 25-minute tempo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Are you planning on just sticking to around a threshold type heart rate for your sessions?
Yeah, so my plan is when I'm in Canberra, just run with the group that are around that sort of 17:30 to 18-minute 5K athlete, because that whatever session they're doing shouldn't get my heart rate through the roof, if that makes sense. So I'll basically just do my sessions with those guys, which if they were up in Noosa, like they probably wouldn't have been running that fast. So probably be actually slower than that.
This will get you fitter than you think it would get you. Like you'll get back there and you'll be like, how the fuck do I feel so good only doing this?
Yeah.
I'm serious, it will. It'll deceive you.
It's more the psychological battle at the moment going, because I'm like I said last week, I'm that type of person that I'm either all in or all out. And if I'm doing something, I want to be able to do it to the best of my ability. And I know that there's no way I'm doing things to the best of my ability at, 60, 70K a week. And even off a, 90-minute long run, I barely even call that a long run. But you're right. Like if I did this, I could probably still go out and run 16 minutes for 5K, even though I'm not really running 3:12s in training at all.
I reckon if you did this for 8 weeks, you'd run 15:30.
Maybe. I'm not sure I'm going to get permission to do that, but we'll, But it'd be nice just to join with the group and be able to do sessions with them.
15:30. That's a good challenge.
Yeah, I reckon I'd struggle at 15:30.
No, you would do that, no problems.
Yeah, all right, we'll see. I'll see if
sixes.
See if Andre gives me the go ahead. Maybe around Christmas time.
January 6th, Surf Coast Track Club night.
Oh, is that locked in?
Yeah, lock it in.
10K?
2 by 10K, 3 by 5K.
Very good. I like that.
Seated.
Tell us about your week, Moose.
Oh, yes, my week. Interrupted by ongoing illness. Still playing havoc with me. Just not quite over it yet. Yeah, it's been a bit of a frustration for me because I'm supposed to be back rolling now and my body's just not letting me. So it's more of a maintenance type week for me. Like I want to keep running, but I don't want to stress the body too much. Monday I felt all right. I did 9K in the morning and then I ran in the Arvo 6K. So sort of my I guess it was how I'm doing doubles now. So doing doubles like 2 really easy runs, not like an hour and then 30 minutes. I'm doubling differently to what what I did when I was getting fit, and I can just get a couple more K that way without really risking anything. I did run an hour the following day. Went down to the beach, ran a bit with Bree after that. Just caught up with her on the run, which was cool. Then the next day, did a workout, went into the track. So Deacon, I thought I'll get in here and do a little bit myself, no group or anything. So I did threshold reps. I did 4 by a mile, and then I did 1 mile of straights and bends. This was, I wanted to just do something different. I'm losing a bit of motivation to do workouts, so I decided to change locations, and it worked. I like being on the track. The workout wasn't anything crazy. I had my heart rate on to make sure that I didn't do too much over threshold. So the first rep was 5:11, and then it went 5:14, 5:16, 5:19. So they got slower, which is kind of normal for threshold reps, especially when you're not fit as you're coming back. Just a regression, I guess. But I felt fine. Then I had a minute 15 break. So I was taking 75 seconds break between these. So the breaks weren't very long. I probably could have extended that just to make the reps be a bit more even. And then the 1 mile, so 4 laps of straights, hard, bends, easy, was a lot harder than the actual session itself. It's a pretty tricky little workout, that. You guys ever do it? I reckon you would have, Croaks.
No, not that much. Like more as just a tune-up. Like I wouldn't have done it as like a pure session. I might have done something like that in the lead up to a race. But I'd imagine as you get older, this stuff gets a bit harder.
Yeah, and it's probably why you kind of need to do it, even though it's shit. It's like it's still worth going and doing, especially if you're doing threshold stuff. If you're doing threshold work, it's just like really one pace, and you're not really turning the legs over too much. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll chuck in a few 100-meter reps, basically. Yeah, I don't know. By the end, I was pretty cooked. Went for a run the following day on the trails. So this was when I started to feel a bit shit again. It was single track. It was pretty wet morning. I was with the dog, and I stubbed my toe on something, a non-existent little rock or whatever, and I went down pretty hard, going uphill. So it was safe for me, but it still shook me up a little bit. 1 minute you're running along perfectly fine, thinking about something, deep in thought, and then the next minute you're like on the ground, and it's cold. And all of a sudden your elbow and your knee fucking hurt from banging it on the ground, and the dog's standing over you like wondering what's going on. And then my watch started buzzing. I've got incident detection set up. So if it detects if you have a fall or an accident, and after like 10 seconds, if you don't cancel it, it sends a message. I think it's a message or an email to your emergency contact, saying that you've had an accident. Mm-hmm. But I worked out that you actually need your mobile phone with you for it to work, I think. And I didn't have my phone, so I was trying to work out how it would actually send that message. I didn't look too far into it after that, but I'm pretty sure you do need your phone with you. But a really good idea. If you're going to be out in the bush by yourself, actually, like a great idea, and I'll consider taking my phone as well just because of that. For the next hour the following day, just got around, nothing crazy. And then on the Saturday afternoon, I had a really shit sleep that night, and then I woke up average, and I thought I'll do my workout in Melbourne. So we went up about lunchtime. Just took one pair of shoes, took the Vaporfly, decided to do a session. I jogged to the tan, warmed up around the tan, and I thought I would do my workout on that 2K loop that a lot of Melbourne runners use for their tempos and their thresholds. It goes
Bridges one, is that the one?
Yeah, I think it's called the Bridges one, yeah. So I started there, and I was doing 2 minute, 1 minute, 30 second, 5 sets of that, and the rest was half the duration of the repeat. And it was just way too crowded on that trail. So I didn't even get a full lap. I went over the Anderson Street Bridge, down past Gosh's Paddock, and I decided to go to the track and finish the workout.
They'd be tight turns too, wouldn't they? Like crossing the bridge bit and then turning back onto the path.
They are.
Yeah, like
they
right
are.
angles.
And the path's actually really quite narrow in spots. So if you're passing a group of people, and there's a lot, and it goes through all the barbecue areas, and the barbecue areas are all on the other side of the tan there, on the other side of Alexandra Ave, and there's like families of 30 people just milling around with dogs and everything. So it might be different during the week than on a Saturday afternoon. It probably is, actually. Still, it's not the fastest place to do a threshold. Nah.
Are we a bit like precious, though, because we live in the country, just run in the middle of the roads?
Yeah, it could be that.
Like, they just appreciate that more.
I would rather actually just do it around the tan and have a hill.
Yeah.
That would be better for me than running that loop. I don't like it.
Because the hill's not ridiculous.
No, and I mean, it's a hill. You have them in races. The hill's a part of life.
And I make that comment, a ridiculous hill, going off of one race I do around there every couple of years.
And not running a single hill all month.
Yeah.
The workout was, in retrospect, too difficult for where I was at. So the 2 minutes, I started at 3:06, and then the 1 minute was 3:04, 30-second 2:57. Now, because you can't, like you're doing half the repeats in rest, after that 30-second rep, you're doing 15 seconds of rest, and then you're back into a 2-minute rep. So my heart rate just was not going down. By the 5th rep, I was basically spent the entire time above 175, which is over my threshold. So this was too difficult for where I was at, which I realised, but I didn't adjust it. I thought you'll get through it. Just be smart about it and don't push as hard. And what I mainly changed was my jogs just got a lot slower. So I went 2 minutes with 3:06, 3:10, 2:59, 3:05, 3:01. However, this was on the Olympic Park 500-metre track, and that's not accurate for GPS. So there's a little bit of mayo on all this.
And you wouldn't have been able to put your watch in track mode either, would you? Does that work on 500-metre tracks?
Oh, I don't know. But by the time I'd started, I was midway through the session. And it didn't really matter either.
But there's people who do train there like regularly.
Yeah.
Do they put their watch in track mode? Can it do 500 metres?
I'm not sure. I think you have to put what lane you're in.
Yeah, but I know my Coros does. That's what lane you're in, and it goes off a 400-metre track.
But does it need to be... Because that's a bit more like a circle, isn't it?
It's a donut.
Yeah, so does track mode only work when it's like a standard sort of, straight, bend, straight?
I think so.
Yeah, so...
I've just gone into my lap. I'm on my watch now. The option is lane number. No, you've basically got to pick a lane. So it goes off a regular athletics track, and you pick what lane you're in.
So how do people that train there get accurate data?
I think there are markings.
Okay.
I haven't seen the markings, but I'm not sure they use markings. I think it's like a little bit longer than 500 meters too. I think it's like 510 meters or something. But I don't know for sure. I don't know. All I know is that the GPS doesn't work there. It's just too generous.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the end, my heart rate got super, super high, and I wasn't giving myself enough rest after the repeats. And so that was Saturday, Arvo. Had a really shit sleep at the hotel. Got up, followed the race. Was pretty fun, but then got home late, ran down in Aries with Ali. She had an hour to do. I was going to do 90 minutes. Sunday Arvo runs are just like the biggest dread of ever. I was tired. I barely slept the night before. I was struggling with my food because I've been feeling sick. And then she just starts hammering the pace early.
Did she wait the whole day to run with you at like 3 p.m.?
She was up at Melbourne Marathon too, supporting. So we were both in the same situation, except she felt amazing and I felt like shit. I dropped her off after an hour and slowed down a little bit, but I just kept feeling worse and worse. So 90 minutes was my maximum on that day. I needed to eat more during the day. I needed to sleep better. And then that was 100K for the week. I woke up feeling really good today. So I don't feel the sickness at all. All day today I was fine. Felt good running. And, yeah, hopefully this is a new week, new me.
Good. That's still a decent week. Better than the two before that.
Thanks, mate.
I was saying they were good weeks 2 weeks ago, but yeah, they're back on the right page now.
Can you go back and retrospectively say they weren't a good week for me?
I actually am sticking by my statement because I think you were in recovery mode and you didn't need to be doing that many Ks anyway.
All right,
forced break for you to recover fully from Sydney.
I don't believe you, but I'll pay the justification.
Day a mile. I told you that the other day. D. Costello it was who may have had that comment as well. Got that fact checked during the week. I'm going to whistle through this, fellas. Got a guest coming in 90 seconds time, so this is a real boring running week for me, so I only need 90 seconds. Monday, 13k in the morning, 4:39s, 6.4k in the afternoon at 4:35s. Tuesday, I did a workout. It was I like a threshold workout, but I did 30 minutes worth of threshold running, but I broke it up. So I went 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes, and I had 2 minutes jog between the 10 and after the 10 and the 8. And then 90 seconds after the 6 and 60 seconds after the 4. So it probably comes in at 35 and a half minutes in total. It's a fun one because once you bang out the 10 and the 8, the rest of it's pretty easy. But you just got to check the ego a bit and not blow the doors off for the 4 and the 2 minute ones. So mentally I quite enjoyed that workout. In the afternoon did 7k at 4:34s. Wednesday 13k at 4:38s. And then Thursday morning, I ditched my run. Olivia's been sick and on antibiotics and not sleeping real well. And I reckon I had about 3 hours, maybe 4 hours sleep Wednesday night. And I just thought there's no way am I getting up early to do 20k before work. So I cut that and I just went out for an easy hour after school at 4:33s. Friday I did Moose Fartlek, which I really enjoyed. I was hovering around 3:07 pace for the 3 minutes and about 2:55, 2:57 for the 1 minutes. So nothing special, but just a good little fartlek workout. 8k in the afternoon Friday. Saturday, 16k, 8k double. And then Sunday, I started early because I wanted to come home and watch the Melbourne Marathon stream. And I did 31k at 4:03s with Archie, which was good. He's fit. He's kind of cruising at that pace pretty easy. For me, it's a bit harder, but I'm kind of looking at it as my kind of third workout for the week. 150k, just stringing the weeks together. Still looking for a race in November. Got sent a couple of requests. Well, not requests, options. And yeah, I'm still...
what are they?
I got Tour de Trails, Moose. You still aligned with that brand? Someone said there's some trail races I could do. There was a Run the Bay, a relay thing down in Melbourne. There was one other that came in as well. Nothing that jumped.
Don't sound overly excited by those.
No, that I wasn't. No, I was like, oh yeah, they're options, but I was looking for a hard, fast road race where I'm going to get sucked through for a fast time or come 10th or 15th or something.
Bernie?
Something pretty competitive. I think it's next weekend. It's pretty soon. Actually, Canberra Times, Croaks, they do a 10k up there. That comes through.
Yeah, that's 5th of November.
It's not as good as it used to be though, is it?
But run Geelong.
It's not a super quick course.
Yeah, I suggested that last week, Moose. Remember, run Geelong?
Yeah, come down there.
Maybe.
Come and stay with me.
I'm still toying with the idea of Vic 5K champs, even though I shut it down last week when you suggested it. Because if I'm in B or C grade, I can just wear all Vaporflies.
Oh, why are you so worried about these shoes?
Because I don't train. I don't have a track to train on in spikes. And I think when you get in spikes without doing work in spikes, you can risk injuries.
Mate, according to Tams and Manu, you can just put these things on and you'll run Australian record.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Anyway, let me patch in our first guest. Let's see if I can land him here. I heard he did have a very big evening celebrating, so I'm not sure what kind of state he's in. He may have lost his voice. Trying to patch him in as we speak here. I'm not sure how much of him you saw on the track yesterday, Moose. See him go past a couple of times.
I saw him at the 3K mark. And then I did see him again at the 36k mark. He was in third place when I saw him.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing, some of the splits here.
I'm looking at his splits. It looks bloody good, doesn't
you
it?
got them open. A couple of technical issues in the background here, so keep patting, Croaks. Do you see anything on the live stream?
No, I didn't see much of it, but I did hear that Zach had just chewed his ear off all yesterday afternoon on the beers.
Zach,
Doesn't he find the hot guy, like the hot property, and just attach himself to it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've just finished going through our group chat, listing off the names that he dropped yesterday afternoon. Oh yeah, Stewie's just popped by, or Jack's here now, and it's like, we normally call you Frother Brady, but Zach was definitely frothing yesterday, Arvo.
No, I'm going in. Yeah, I reckon he's taken that mantle. I reckon I'm not as friendly as I used to be.
You know what? I saw Reece at 36k. I think it's 36 when they veer off. What kilometre mark is that, Brady? When the half veers off and you're just coming up at the bottom of the shrine.
Oh, yeah, good question.
I reckon it's about 36, because then you got about 6k after that. Maybe it's 37. Anyway, he was in third, but he looked very good. And he came past Collis and I standing there, and he actually made a joke. He goes, "Oh, this year I won't forget to turn left," or whatever. Because last year he actually followed the bike through the roundabout the wrong way. So
that's right, yeah.
This year he's making jokes at 37k, and he looked bloody good. And I didn't think he would win from there, but that was probably a sign that he had a bit left.
That'll be one of my questions to him. He's like, surely 10k into the race, he's thinking, I'm fighting for second here.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what his mentality would have been. So it would have been quite bizarre in that next hour and a half to go, holy shit, I'm going to win this.
Well, let's ask him, boys. Fantastic padding, by the way, because we did have some issues there, but I think I've got him on the line here. The Melbourne Marathon 2023 male winner, Reece Edwards. How are you? And welcome back to the Inside Running podcast.
Yeah, cheers, boys. Thanks for having me. I apologise for my voice. I am very, very dusty today.
Congratulations, mate. And it sounds like you went just as hard on the celebrations as you did in the race.
Yeah, the celebrations have hurt me a lot more today. The beers have got me.
It was well earned, Reece. Well earned.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I triple parked myself all night.
Has it sunk in yet, Reece? We'll go through the race, but yeah, kind of like, I don't know, 35 hours on. Has it sunk in?
Nah, it's really still really surreal. It's hard to believe it still happened, and I think that's more so because of the way it happened. I only led the race for probably 2 minutes. So, or maybe 3, I don't even know how long, but I guess that's what's made it surreal.
So I'm not sure if you heard, Reece, I was just chatting before. One of my questions to you was, 10k into the race, you're probably thinking, I'm fighting for second here. Was that your mentality at 10k in?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from 1k in, when Liam was 15 seconds or 20 seconds up the road, I was like, yeah, okay. So first place is gone. His move absolutely looked ridiculous, but it was like, he doesn't need to hold that pace to never see us again anyway. So I thought he was just going to get an early gap. But yeah, 100%, the entire race, I thought I was going to be playing for second.
So for listeners that haven't seen, I just might go through some of the results moves, just for we haven't got that far in our show yet. But you did get the win, Reece, in 2:14.34. Ryan Gregson was second in 2:14.54, and Liam Adams was third in 2:15.37. But Liam Adams did run the first 5k, I think it was 14:51, and did have 2 minutes 31 seconds on you at 35k. So it was hard to kind of tell on the stream. They kind of missed all the moves and stuff happening, but a fascinating race. And I guess my first one is, what do you think on the start line when you're standing next to Liam Adams, who's ran 2:08 recently, and then Ryan Gregson, who's our previous 1,500 metre record holder and been a professional athlete pretty much his whole life?
So I guess I was thinking, if I was in Liam's shoes, he's a 208 guy, he just ran 30 Ks at 206 pace. I was like, I'm not going to really probably be competitive against Liam. And then Grego was kind of a bit of an unknown. And I've only ever watched Grego on TV, at the Olympics and things like that. So I was like, obviously a lot of respect there, but I wanted to be like, hopefully I can challenge, at least challenge Grego if he decides not to go with Liam. But yeah, I was still 50-50 on, like, I'm not really a competitor for them. So yeah.
Also, Reece, like, you've had a pretty disrupted year. Like, you were meant to be doing Road to Gold Coast, and then you got that injury. Whereas you compare this year to last year, where you did like Sydney Marathon as a lead into Melbourne, and you've run 2:14:34. So you're a minute outside your PB. Did you think that you were in that sort of shape?
So 8 weeks ago, I couldn't run that pace for more than 10 kilometres. So it was only the last month. The last month I was just like, I'm like, this is old Reece coming back real fast. And I was like, just don't do anything stupid. But then at the same time, I was like, I probably do need to do stupid things to get fit real fast. So it was probably, I've had one of my mates come down from Sydney. And originally I was like, do you mind pacing me through like maybe 69 through half? And then the next week it was like 68. Then I was like, do you reckon you got 67 in you? And then it was this week I was like, you reckon you have got a 66 in you? And he was like, oh, you're kidding. So it kind of just every week it just changed.
And so Reece, at what point during the race did you start to get the feeling Liam was coming back?
When just at the bottom of the tan, and I could see Grego just at how I was only really focused on Grego, but you could see Liam's high vis vest a fair way up the road, and I only thought he was like, I thought he'd just switched off and was jogging it in just to have the win and just think like, what's the point of going hard? So it wasn't until I took that right-hander at Flinders Station, I was like, oh, wait, Liam's kind of like running sideways as well as he's running forwards right now. And I was like, yeah, okay, it's probably fair game now.
Because, we didn't see it on the stream, but did Ryan Gregson, I'm just looking at the 30 to 35K splits, he kind of put 20 seconds onto you then. And then I think between 35 and 38, the gap was 22 seconds. So, you pulled it. When did you go past him then to then make the attack for Liam?
So I turned right at Flinders Street Station, and I got Grego at probably maybe 1,200 metres to go, and I got Liam at a K to go. Yeah,
and then you ran 2:56, didn't you? On track.
Yeah, and then I was just, so like for me, like, it's the last place you want to be is anywhere near Ryan Gregson with a K to go in any race, especially a guy like me. So I'm like, okay, obviously it's going to be a pretty lame acceleration, but I was just like, I composed myself for probably about 30 seconds. So I sat about 20 metres behind Ryan, just composed myself because you could see Liam was going to come back to us. I just composed myself because I was like, Grego was grabbing at his hamstring. So my physiotherapy brain's just going like, you got to make him overstride. So I was just like, my whole plan was like, I got to hit Grego as hard as I can, and I don't even care what happens. So I just put like the hardest 200 metres of like my life in to make when I went past Grego, and it just at the same time, it went into going past Liam at the same time.
Oh, it sounds like such an epic race. I can't believe I'm not sure if you watched any of the coverage today, but they missed it all. They didn't have a camera on it. They were showing Gen Gregson.
How did they fuck that up?
Oh, I know, mate. That's one of my Brady on the looses later on. They just showed Gen Gregson pretty much cuddling every person she could find at the finish line there. And then they threw back to the footage, and they threw back to Ryan Gregson. And then she was jumping up and down at the finish line and the commentators are going ballistic, like, Ryan Gregson's caught Liam, he's going to win it. He's, what a debut. And then they didn't even know that you were in front of him. But, that's another story. But it must have been just a dream come true, kind of like, it sounds like a fairy tale kind of race for someone. Like, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but a lot of people would have you on a different level than those two guys with their profiles in Australian distance running.
Yeah, I don't think that's disrespectful at all. I'm definitely not at that level. And I was joking to Moose yesterday. I said, this is my Stephen Bradbury moment. and I was kind of saying to Collis and that, I was just like, this is my Olympic moment. Like, this is as good as my running career is ever going to get. Like, I can pretty much walk away now, which is why obviously I hit the beer so heavy because it genuinely felt like a Stephen Bradbury moment. Like, it just felt like just things were falling into place with me. I went from the bottom of the tan, or probably actually from the top of the tan, so 5 or 6K to go. I was like, I just hang on for third place, to like 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh my God, I could win this.
That is so cool.
I reckon you're selling yourself a bit short, though,
Yeah,
mate. You are a
you're an amazing
2:13
athlete.
man, and I reckon you can actually go faster. So.
What are you talking about? Stephen Bradbury won Olympic gold medal. He won Melbourne Marathon.
You are very good at running marathons, though. That's a good thing to see.
So, Reece, like you, like obviously winning Melbourne is a prestigious event to win, but you also won the Tarawera 100K Ultra, which is also quite prestigious. How do the two compare for you?
This is by far like the best experience and the biggest experience. So living in Melbourne now, like my whole workplace was out there. Like it's a big hospital, and I was probably running and getting cheered on every almost 400 meters the entire course. Like it was by far better than Tarawera, and just like celebrating in the MCG and just the atmosphere. It was by far probably the best experience I've ever had.
You know what I love about it as well, fellas? He did it in a club singlet. Is that
Whose
your
club is that? That ain't St. Stephen's, is it?
It's your. I think he's got a new AV club for next winter, but we can talk about that another time. But that's your club over in the UK, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my that's Belgrave Athletics. Yeah, my London club. It's just I know I like the singlet. There's a little bit of a background story that I probably should have been wearing different kit, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard a whisper about this that maybe Nike wanted you in a Nike kit, giving it to Nike Race, but you were strong with your morals and stuck with your club singlet. I love it.
Yeah. And
are you a Nike athlete now?
No. I'm very far from a Nike athlete. I just, they were going to help support me just for Melbourne Marathon, but I just had some life things get in my way, and I just couldn't get to where I had to get the kit.
Mate, stock's gone up now.
Yeah,
stock's gone up. You go back to them with a new contract.
Yeah. I'll be like, I'm good for one race a year, Melbourne Marathon.
Hey, it's their event. That's a good thing. Reece, have you thought about what's potentially next? Like you looked at, could you do sometimes back up pretty quick?
Yeah, so this is like, this was already planned because I only got 8 weeks of training in for Melbourne, so I didn't actually expect to be in this shape. But I'm going to Singapore. I'm going to do the Singapore Marathon.
Oh, yeah, when's that?
So that's on the 2nd or 3rd of December, so about 6 weeks. It was just something that interests me. I'm just going over for 2 nights, like just a couple of days off work, and I felt like doing like some harder marathons and just see what happens. Yeah,
you good in the heat?
I was when I was living up north, so I got paternity leave coming up, so I'm banking on being able to do midday runs, and I'm heat wave come through Melbourne.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that on Road to Gold Coast, weren't we? That you're expecting a child.
Yeah, so that's why I couldn't get the Nike kit, because I was at the emergency room with my partner. So I that was like inside of 24 hours before the race.
Oh, and everything's all good?
Yeah. Everything's fine, thank God. I probably shouldn't have announced that on a podcast, but right.
At least we know everything's all good. We can cut that out if you want, mate.
No, you don't need to. You don't need it. She's fine.
We can definitely do that. Oh, mate, and then what time did you finish up this morning?
Oh, I actually had an early one because I had to work today. So I was up.
No.
I was up at 6:30 to get to work. So I had beers. I was home by about 10:30 last night, but I just had a lot of beers in between.
I love it, man of the people, boys.
Yeah, real AV vibes winning the Melbourne Marathon this year. How good's that?
It's good. All right, mate. Any more questions for him before we let him go, fellas?
No, not from me. Just congratulations, mates. It's awesome to see how far you've come from those days running through Mulligans.
Yeah, things have changed, but yeah, I'm going to take it more serious soon.
Yeah, look, I think we spoke about this on Road to Gold Coast, though. Like, you don't rate yourself as because we were comparing you to Ed, and Ed's trying to qualify for teams, and your PBs were pretty similar, but you were like, I don't want to go in that direction kind of thing. Like, yeah,
I love hard racing, which is why I'm like intrigued by Singapore, because like I'm just shit. I've got no speed. Like I've got no speed, so I'm like shit at speed. So I want to do stuff that's hard, and that's why this weekend was so good.
There's a quote for you, boys. I'm shit. I just won Melbourne Marathon yesterday, though. All right, Reece. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. We'll have to get you on another Road 2 series. after you scratched in the last one.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you don't have to be sorry. That's what happens when you get stress reactions, stress fracture, whatever. What was it in the end?
Yeah, it was a stress fracture, so I had about 8 weeks off running, so yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
amazing.
can't believe how fit you got so quick.
Yeah, me neither. I was like, yeah, I don't know how it happened. Maybe it's because maybe I overtrained. Maybe I don't need to train as hard as I think.
You didn't go and get that needling, did you?
Mate, you show me some science behind that needling and then maybe I'll do it. Seriously, some good evidence-based science behind it and maybe one day.
I just want to clarify, we're talking about dry needling here, an inside joke from Road to Gold Coast, not any other kind of needling.
Yeah, let's not go down that road. I'll get myself in big trouble.
All right, Reece.
Reece.
Thanks for the
See you,
chat.
mate.
Talk to you next time. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Bye. Jeez, he's a refreshing character to have in our sport, isn't he, fellas?
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Just says it as it is, and no bullshit at all with Reece.
That's what you want. You just want those kind of things, don't you? Do you want to read through the women's results, Croaks, and I'll maybe then we can hear what Moose saw, and then I'll get Gemma in as you were doing that.
Yeah, so Gemma Maini got the win. Debut, yeah?
Debut, yep.
Yep. Which, look at these splits. So she ran 2:35.25, 77.46 for the first half, 77.39 for the second half. That is perfect pacing right there.
Yep, exceptional.
Yeah, Millie Clarke was second, 2:41.27, and Cassie Little was third in 2:43.15.
And then just compare that to Reece's splits, because we didn't give them. He went through 66.39 and came home 67.55. And it's important to keep in mind Melbourne's second half is more difficult than the first half is. There's really no hill in the entire first half of the race. So that you would expect the second half to kind of be a little slower just based on the anatomy of the course.
Yeah. 7-second negative split. I think we've got it here now. Gemma Maini, welcome to the Inside Run podcast and congratulations on the win yesterday.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
You're still awake? Matt was a bit concerned you might be asleep by 7:45 on a Monday night after winning Melbourne yesterday.
Yeah, 8 o'clock's usually my bedtime, so it's pushing it.
Okay, we'll see how we can go in the next 8 minutes. Has it sunk in yet? We just had Reece Edwards on and asked him the same thing.
It hasn't really sunk in, no. I guess my foot is reminding me that, yes, I ran a marathon yesterday, but no, aside from that, it hasn't sunk in at all.
But it seemed like it was perfect, Gemma. Like, we just spoke to Reece about the men's race and how chaotic that was in the last couple of Ks, but you almost had this sewn up from, early on in the race, and your splits were amazing, and you looked great as well. Like, it looked like a fantastic way to debut.
Yeah, I just had heaps of fun with it. So Matt and Dane had come up with a race plan that was a little different to probably what I would have run. They just wanted me to be conservative, just stay relaxed until 30, 35K and then attack it. So I just had fun, chatted to people out on the course, which helps at Melbourne because every second person you run past. I didn't even think about where the other competitors were. I just wanted to run a good race for myself. So that never crossed my mind until probably 38K. And then I was like, oh, hang on a second. Dane turned to me, he's like, I think you're about to win Melbourne Marathon.
Really? You didn't get any splits on the way? Like, no one, I've just got them open now. Like, you were 2 minutes 30 up on Millie at halfway, and then I think 30K, it was kind of like, 3 minutes 53. So it was kind of like, no one told you that as you were going?
No. So you can see a few times on the course when you sort of go out and back where everyone else is. So I sort of glanced back and saw where she was, but I didn't know if she was starting conservative and if she was going to run over the top of me in the back half of the race. Like, I had no idea what to expect. It probably wasn't until we were coming back up past the shrine, like the second time up the hill, where I looked over to where she was and, caught a glimpse of her over there. And that's when it sort of sunk in that if I didn't fall apart in the last 3K, that, I had it in the bag.
And Gemma, was 2:35 about the time that you thought you'd run on debut or that you'd be happy with?
Yeah, so I had a goal. I wanted to run probably closer to 2:33. But given Melbourne's course isn't the fastest course, Matt said I should set out around 2:35 and just see what happened. So I'm really happy with 2:35. Like, can't complain. I definitely think I've got a bit more in there. So, yeah, definitely hungry to get back out and do another one at some point.
The splits, Gem, you were 7 seconds quicker in the back half, but you said that you just basically took it easy to 30. Things must have got a bit hard, or else you like if it was that easy for the first 35 or so, you would have been quicker through the end. Did it get hard at some point?
Around the 10. So that hill, I don't know what point it is, like 35, 36K, sort of when you go up that long hill. I was scared if I redlined that hill too much that I wouldn't make it to the finish. So I sort of eased off the pedal a little bit and tried to work the downhill a bit more. Same with the second time you come back up it. So up until then, felt great. I think those few hills trashed the legs. Like coming off around 39K, I started getting a cramp in one of my hip flexors, and it was just telling me like, I've sort of had enough now. So the last 2K hurt, but before that it was fun. But ducking and weaving amongst the people when you're starting to hurt as well, that was really challenging.
Do you mean the half marathoners that you passed?
Yeah. The last 2K was chaotic. It was really congested.
Because
you're hitting the 90 minutes. Yeah. You're hitting the 95, the 90 to 95. Oh well, no, an hour 40 probably. Runners who are going like 30 seconds a K or more slower than you. So yeah, that would be hard.
Yeah, most of them are really nice. They move out the way, but there's so many that run with headphones in, and so they're just completely oblivious. So you just like, excuse me, or like coming through and the motorbike and Dame were yelling at them, and they're just oblivious. They can't hear you.
Excuse me is such a polite way of doing it.
I did not say excuse me out on course.
They need to fix that. Like, you can't have the winner doing that.
Yeah, did not say excuse me. It was more than that.
No one's polite at 39K.
No, it was just like move. I didn't swear at anyone, but it was definitely getting abrupt.
And Gemma, given it was your debut, was the marathon harder or easier than you thought standing on the start line?
It was easier than I thought, I think. I kept waiting for it. Everyone kept telling me like, it would be really hard at like 32K or 35K or whatever. So I was really nervous that one, my stomach was going to go at some point, or two, I was going to hit the wall or something like that. But no, I just had fun until the last 2K. The last 2K I was overrunning. I was definitely ready to finish, but before that, it wasn't as hard as I thought.
That's because you ran so smart.
Yeah, and I've got Dane to thank for that.
What, not Mattress?
Well, and Matt, because they came up with a race plan. But if Dane wasn't there, even if Matt had told me to do what he told me to do, I probably would have gone a bit rogue. As everyone knows, I'm very good at doing. So, yeah, Dane probably told me to slow down 500 times in the race.
And it's always easier when you're out in front leading a major city marathon. Give you a bit of a buzz.
Exactly, yep. And with, just the atmosphere, every time you pass a big crowd, I'd accelerate and Dane's like, just chill out. So it pulled me back a few times.
You had a massive group. I saw some pics today, maybe at through Albert Park. You were kind of on the front with Dane, and then there was probably about 50 guys behind you.
Yeah, so coming around there, we were chatting to some of them on the way down towards Albert Park. And a few of them had said they wanted to run around 2:35. But when we got to Albert Park, we were running a little bit slower than what I wanted. So Dane's like, just sit in the pack. And after a couple of K, I was like, nah, I'm not having a bar of this anymore. Like, I just want to get going. So I was like, you can sit in the pack. I'm not. And so he came with me.
Gemma, I think I saw one of the mini interviews afterwards did you sit in the stands last year and then make the decision that you were going to race it this year? Like, Ollie would be, 16, 18 months old?
Yeah, he was 16 months on the actual day. So I think when I was pregnant 2 years ago, I watched Matt run and I was like, maybe one day. But, last year when I was out on course with Ollie, I said to Matt at the end, that's what I'm going to do next year. So, it was definitely a goal I put in place last year.
and that's the future now, you think? Like you'll be a 2 or 3 marathons a year kind of lady?
Yeah, I don't see myself going back to shorter stuff anymore. I think I've caught the marathon bug. In saying that, the next one I might despise and I might take that back. But at the moment, I've definitely caught the marathon bug.
I reckon a bit of Calvin Kiptum about you. They just never hurt.
Yeah.
Also, nice little payday in the marathon.
Oh, yeah.
Not that you
I bought an old rundown house early this year. That I definitely had spent that money 100 times over in my head that last day.
two teachers though, very wealthy people, and
I don't know about that.
A little bit on top must be very nice living down on the beach.
It is so nice, but our house is designed from the 60s and definitely needs a good renovate. So that's definitely where that prize money is going to go towards.
Gemma, how did you enjoy training for the marathon? Like, how much did your volume increase, and did you enjoy the longer sessions?
Yeah, so some of them were really daunting. I think I overthought some of them. I'd be nervous about it for a week leading into them. But because I'd never done it before, you can't really compare it to anything else. So I sort of went in a bit blind, and I enjoyed that aspect of it. Like, it was all just new and a good learning experience. And there was a few guys who live locally who were also training for Melbourne. So it was fun having a good group to train with just on the weekends as well. So that made it a lot of fun. In terms of my volume, I was pretty consistent. I've never really hit over 140 Ks before, but for most of the marathon build, I sort of sat between 140 to 145 Ks, hit one bigger week, almost 160. But yeah, just sort of played it a little bit safe for this one, just so I wouldn't break down. I wasn't sure, how the body would handle it.
Last one for me, Gemma. When did you hear the whispers that Matt Clarke would be potentially racing? And, like, how much did you know about the elite field? Obviously, she's got a PB of 226 high at Melbourne. And, when did that come across your radar? And how concerned were you?
So I'd heard a little bit about the elite field a while ago, a couple of months ago. And I heard that Matt Clarke was doing the half marathon. So I probably only heard 2 or 3 days before Melbourne that she'd swapped back to the full marathon. So knowing who the elite, from what I had heard, I knew I was in with a shot at podiuming and potentially winning leading into it. But yeah, when I heard Matt Clarke was entered, I thought that chance had gone out the window. But yeah, I guess you just got to back yourself because you don't know what other people are doing, what their training's been like. So, yeah, I was disheartened for probably a day and then just thought, like, who cares? Like, that's not the goal. The goal is to run a good race for yourself. So anything that comes on top of that was just a bonus.
Yeah, great attitude. Any more question for her, boys, before we let her go? 2 minutes past her bedtime.
Just one from me. Next marathon, will you look to head overseas somewhere? And if so, where would you like to run?
Yeah, so after watching Berlin this year, definitely that's on my bucket list. But in terms of timelines, probably a Japanese marathon's probably more realistic at this point. But yeah, I haven't really thought that far in advance. It only really came, I didn't know whether I'd want to do another marathon, so that's only sort of just entered my mind in the last, 24 hours. So haven't thought that far ahead yet, but definitely would love to do one overseas.
Yeah. Moose, got any last questions for Gemma?
Gemma, you stick with the in-house coaching?
I think so. It's been really fun. I know a lot of people had their doubts.
A lot of people. One person, Gemma. One person.
It doesn't always work living with your coach.
You still sleep in the same room?
Oh, except when he's sick. He's been banished to the spare room for half.
Yeah, didn't think so. It's all...
Hence my voice. Bloody hell, Ollie gave me a cold this week, so I had a mild panic. But no, definitely sticking with, Matt coaching me at the moment. It was just heaps of fun. And he knows when, I don't know, Ollie's sick or I'm sick or he knows me better than anyone else. So it's worked to this point. So I'm not going to change it.
Good call.
We should probably ask, what did you do to celebrate?
We went to a pub locally yesterday afternoon. So, yeah, the head might be feeling a little bit worse than the legs today, actually.
Did
Good
you have
job.
to work today, Gemma? Reece backed up for work, did you?
No, so I actually have Mondays off, thankfully. So yesterday afternoon didn't matter. Like, I didn't care. I did have to chase Ollie around, though, today.
Yeah, it's hard when going to school.
Oh, 100%. When he wanted to go to the park and took off down the hill, I was like, dude, I'm sitting down. I can't just get up and chase you right now.
Amazing work again, Gemma. Congratulations. Huge win. And, yeah, thanks for giving us some time for the Inside Run podcast.
No worries. Thanks for having me on.
No worries.
Thanks,
Recover
Gemma.
well.
See
See
ya.
you, Gemma.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.
This week's episode of the Inside Running podcast is proudly sponsored by On. On Track Night Series takes over the Zatopek 10 this December in Melbourne. On believes running is a community sport and that together we can achieve more. Just look at OAC. They race alone, but they run for each other. Individually they're strong, but as a team they're taking the world by storm. They're proving that community is key to performance. On Track Night celebrates the running community. On has handpicked events around the world that embody this ethos. The shared passion, the competition, and the camaraderie, it's all there. These aren't your standard races. They're high-energy affairs with loud crowds pushing athletes to greater heights. They're rooted in their local community and always bringing something new to the table. They have their own unique local flavour, but they all champion their community. So join us as Lakeside Stadium comes to life on December 2nd. Visit ontracknights.com for more information.
All right, fellas, do you want to go back to thanks some Patreon supporters? Croaks, kick things off?
Or do we just stick on Melbourne Marathon a bit longer?
I forgot there were other events and stuff to talk about as well. Yeah, let's do that.
But even like from the men's marathon, like I don't think we've touched on it enough that like Liam. So like Liam went out and ran 64:42 for the first half and then came home in 70:55. Now, like he's come off the back of Berlin. It was unlikely he's going to break an Aussie record in Melbourne off the back of Berlin. Wouldn't you think you just want to secure $20,000 and just run with these guys for the first half and then pull away? Because I have no doubt if Liam runs that race, he wins this.
I think
he wins that, doing it like that for sure.
So you haven't watched the footage. Moose was there in person. I watched the footage, and the footage was talking like he wanted to break the course record and potentially run the Olympic qualifier. But I don't know where they were pulling that from. Maybe his first 5K split, which was sub 15.
It's like 20 grand. Like, that's
I know,
that's good money.
I'm sitting there with you going, how do you win 20 grand the easiest way possible? You sit there until 35K and then peel off.
Well, if you can't do it at Berlin, it'd be a very rare occurrence to be able to come to Melbourne and do it.
Solo, off the front.
Yeah, that's right. With no packs and with a hilly course and worse conditions. And
I think those commentators had it wrong, though, because I watched this Instagram video he put up today where I think it was maybe 5 or 6K. He grabbed a drink and he kind of said to the person, like, I'm going too fast. Like, and I think it might be his partner, Charlotte. She's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? And he's just like, yeah, way too fast. So it's good to know that the guys at his level can still make pacing mistakes. And he obviously paid for it. Like, I got home from my long run and turned it on and it was about 35K and he looked terrible and was looking over his shoulder like he looked like a sitting duck, dead man walking kind of thing, which he was in the last, 2K. And it looked like his legs had gone, like he was out of glycogen, not just like tired from Berlin. Do you know what I mean? Mm. And even when I watched the full thing back today, and someone pointed it out in our DMs, like a lot of times he'd grab his drink, have one swig, and then just throw it. And I'm like, I don't know if he got the right amount of carbs in as he was going. But
I didn't watch it. So
hard way to race a marathon.
Yeah, I saw him up past the shrine, and that was right. Like at that point, he was probably 2 minutes 20 in front still, but the others looked better than he did at that point. And then I was thinking, maybe they can catch him, but it was such a big gap still. Mm. Really needed a blow up to occur, and it really did. But that's the marathon, isn't it? Takes you can have someone like him who can absolutely crush something like a Gold Coast, but then it gets its retribution a couple later.
I just would have thought, pick up, do as little as possible to pick up the 20 grand, which, it's well documented that he's not a full-time athlete, which, if you win 20 grand, like, it makes it a bit easier to then take a bit of time off work and go overseas and, do a bit of a training camp for your next marathon. That's the way I would have looked at it.
He was, like Reece said, from the gun, he just fucking flew up that first hill, Batman Avenue. Like, he just gapped him instantly. It's like a man possessed, like the way he took off that line. So I don't think that was that thinking at all, unless it was like, I'm going to blow him away, like make him think this race is over.
That's a long tempo run if you're going to do it like that.
Yeah. Or I'm going to win the 20 grand plus there's probably a bonus for breaking the course record, so I'm going to make it a $30,000 day instead of a $20,000 day.
But the poor fella must have been leading for 2 hours and 12 minutes.
And it's got to be the worst feeling because, like, obviously before he was completely shot, it, like, would have been at the back of his mind that, oh, no, I've cooked this and, am I going to get to the finish line or are these guys going to catch me? Like, that's got to be the worst feeling.
And even, like, running into the MCG, still looking over his shoulder thinking, okay, I've got to protect third here. Like, he was, just trying to save dollars, I think, by the end there. But it made things interesting. We're talking about it. Was a good narrative around the whole race, like an epic finish. The women's race, you want to say anything about that? Like, it was kind of lucky Gemma was there because if she wasn't, Millie winning in 2:41. I'm not sure what the recent slowest time has been, but that
just the fields across outside the 10K, the marathon and the half, the fields were actually quite down for the ladies. It wasn't quite as deep, I didn't think, as the men's. The marathon kind of especially, like, Millie obviously saw that in the half and decided to jump up and thought that was some easier money up there, and she was right. She got up there and took second place and took a bigger paycheck, so there was a real opening up there for her, even though she's not fit. I mean, she's run, 2:27? Or quicker.
2:26.59.
Yeah, 2:26.59. So, like, well off her best, but still good for some money at second.
Half marathon.
Go through the results.
Jack Rayner got the win there. Seth O'Donnell was with him, probably until they started coming back on St Kilda Road. So 14, 15K, maybe longer than that. And then when Jack went to the front, he gapped him quite easily. Ended up putting in just short of a minute. It was 63.06 to 64.02. Matt Clarke was third in 64.13. Really didn't see much of this other than the two boys out in front. You didn't really see the chase back at all. The women's half marathon, I don't think you saw anything until Gen Gregson came in to the stadium. She ran 70.07. Melissa Duncan 75.34, so a huge win there, 5-minute gap. And Isobel Hume was third in 76.27, so that was well and truly the Gen Gregson show in the females. What'd you see, Moose?
Yeah, I saw most of this race because I was out there watching it because Bree was in it. Jack and Seth were together for a long time in Albert Park. I was there. I'm not sure exactly what kilometre mark it was, but they were either side by side or Seth was slightly in front. And then the next pack was Matt Clarke with Tom DeCanto. Those two ran very close to one another, and there was only a small gap developed when I saw it at the veer-off point as they head back down to St Kilda Road from the tan. At that point, Jack had heaps of time, and they were actually trying to send him the wrong way up the hill. So the officials were telling him to go up the hill, and he pointed, and he was like, no, I'll go this way. He'd done it enough times before. So that avoided embarrassment for the race.
Well, when he went to enter the stadium, he got caught up in the fencing. Like, he went to go in a different, entrance. That I was like, I reckon at one stage he went to stop his watch. Like, I've got to stop my watch to jump over a fence here to actually get into the stadium.
How can that happen?
Oh, yeah, go watch it on the stream. It was, very... Because you know how they're kind of different? You got a 10K, maybe a 5K entrance, a 10K. I don't know, but he was on the wrong side of the fencing, and then, it wasn't a good look.
So how do you get through?
He kind of snuck in between a gap in the fence to get back out from the area he was in to be back on the road, and then he had to turn left. 50
imagine
metres
if
up
it was close.
Yeah.
Imagine if Seth is right behind him. See, that's the kind of shit, like an athlete like that should not have to think about where they're going. It shouldn't come down to making a decision when you see a point. The decision should be made before you through clear signage and direction.
But we've spoken about this like every year Melbourne's on, like, and Gemma made point of it with the merging of races, and it's the Melbourne Marathon. You should not have the leaders of those races running up the back of other people and having to dodge them.
Every year we say the same thing about that.
Because it isn't.
Well, it's only been the last 2 years, hasn't it? Because the half used to go over that footbridge.
Yeah.
The year I come third at Melbourne, you went over the footbridge and then you came down into a different chute. Whereas now it goes past Flinders Street and Fed Square and stuff, and you hit the back of them. It's terrible. When I ran with people running 2 hours 30 last year, remember I was pacing one of your mates, Moose, and we were just yelling on the footpath, and you're just like, these are guys running 2:30. This is the lead females. Let them win a race and not have to worry about this stuff.
Yeah, especially when it's the marathon's that's the number one event there. It's the Nike, it's the Melbourne Marathon Festival. So that should be the priority, that those winners have clear road.
Couldn't agree more, Croaks.
But in that half, Gregson, she looks so good the whole way. Every time I saw her, she was just in total control. She's so fit right now. That's not a fast half marathon course, I don't reckon. Not that fast anyway. Jack Rayner running 63 sort of shows that. So that's a very good run from Jen. One of the runs of the day, if not the run of the day.
Yeah, she would have been in a nice group of fellas too, wouldn't she?
No, there was only one. There was only two around her at the very start, and then there was only one at Albert Park, and then she was solo at the 10.
Yeah, okay. So then the 10K results?
Yeah, so Dave McNeil, he's back. He got the win, 29.10. Zach Faccioni, second, 29.18. And Dale Carroll was third in 29.25. And in the women's, Olga Fasova, she got the win in 32.52. Holly Campbell, second in 33.06. And Morty Skyring, third in 34 flat.
Yeah, that was one of the best fields that the race had, I thought. The women's 10.
Men's 10, I reckon. I reckon that takes it.
Nah. Disagree.
Okay. Agree to disagree. Who was... Yeah, I was going to get technical there, but I won't worry about it. That was good. It's almost like... I got this impression watching it. They try to do too many things so everything turns out okay and nothing gets done well. And it's that problem that Sydney's got as well, that you've got multiple races on the same morning.
Yeah.
And you could tell it from the coverage. They missed, the commentator saying, here comes Dave McNeil, he's coming in the stadium, but then there's no camera on it. And then, as I said, they missed the main move of all that stuff that happened with Liam, Reece and Ryan Gregson. They missed all that because they were showing Jen Lecaz finishing the race. So it's you can't be in so many places at once. And I think in Australia, that's just what we do. We do all these events.
As I was watching on the side of the road at 7:10 a.m., and I'm there with my daughter, and luckily I was holding her at the time, and probably, I'm going to say 7,000 people started streaming down the sidewalk towards us. They weren't all on the sidewalk, 7,000 of them, but the entire road was running towards us, and there was people walking their dog out there. There was kids. And the race was running down the footpath at us. And these aren't one or two people. They were going I'm going to say 12 to 15K an hour. And there was no regard for anyone on the sidewalk. I had to hide behind a tree so that I wasn't standing out and getting run past. That needs addressing. That's actually a real dangerous thing. Imagine if someone got bowled over in a stampede on the footpath that was just out walking. There's some legal issues around that, surely.
Yeah, have a look at that video I just sent you while I go through the Bridge to Brisbane results. So this was one of the bigger races up in Brisbane. Our boy Tim Vincent took the win, 29.29. It's 10K, did I say that? So that's a good time going over the bridge there. Liam Bowden was second in 29.51. And third was Jack Bruce in 30.01. So all the big dog Queenslanders there. Timmy Vincent takes bragging rights. I reckon Jack Bruce might have got him previously up there, but that was a good result from Tim Vincent, who is back from the World Road Running Championships. In the females race, Eloise Welling's got the win in 33.07. Cassie Feehan was second in 33.54. And Rochelle Hill was third in 34.40. So, some good stuff happening in Queensland. And yeah, Eloise has obviously gone up there from Sydney. All the rest of them are Queenslanders.
Is this fast? Anyone done this?
I actually don't think it's as hilly as the name suggests, running over a bridge. But no, I've never done it.
Yeah, so the start of it is really hilly, like straight up the, I think it's called like the Gateway Bridge. And it's a bridge if you're leaving like Brisbane Airport to head down to the Gold Coast. Like it's a pretty severe climb, but then after that it's pretty flat.
Yeah, okay.
But
get down the way early.
The start of it is like pretty steep. Yeah.
Did you watch that video?
Yeah.
I watched the video. He
yeah,
followed the bike.
He followed
doesn't scream.
Yeah.
Doesn't scream elite event, does it?
Yeah. I'll put that on our socials throughout the week. Give people what I'm talking about. Let's go back and thank some Patreon supporters now. Croaks, kick us off.
So I've got Catherine Shan from Brisbane. Don't have a lot of results for Catherine, but she has run the Kelvin Grove Park Run a couple of times and did last year's Bridge to Brisbane 4.5k event in 30 minutes.
Easy, Tiger.
Who's banging there? Is that Brady?
It must be.
Yeah. So she's a partner at HWL Ebsworth Lawyers, and they're currently ranked as the largest legal partnership in Australia, according to the most recent partnership surveys published by the Australian and the Australian Financial Review.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
if you're looking for lawyers...
Yeah, well, we
go
might,
there.
I reckon, some stage on this show.
We haven't hit Brady's whispers yet, but
Yeah.
I don't even know what I got for the Whispers this week, but I see some stuff's been added in here. Oh, yeah, I've got some good stuff. Thank you, Catherine, for your support.
yeah.
Who you got,
Thanks,
Moose?
Catherine. I have Dec Tregear from Melbourne. So he has... Oh, he or she.
I think it's Declan. I think it's short
Declan.
for
Okay,
Declan.
yep,
Yeah,
we'll go with Declan. Best of 18:25 at Albert Park Run. That'd be one of the faster ones in the country, I reckon. Albert Park, always good packs there too, I think. He's run 40 flat for the 10k at the 2xU Wellness Run, which is coming up in December, I think. So like a lot of people aiming for that because there's not many races left between now and the end of the year. And ran 3 hours 29 at last year's Melbourne Marathon. I think he might be a pool lifeguard at Glen Ira Leisure. Oh, a pool lifeguard. That's a bit of a dreamy job, isn't it? Don't you reckon?
Well, how old is it, do you know, Croaks? Bit of a high school job, isn't it? No, like he could be a uni student or something. He's just being a lifeguard.
Don't cancel your Patreon, Deck.
No, I mean it in the nicest way, Deck. I think you're just a young whippersnapper who's just...
You ever seen Bondi Lifeguards?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. What about the Sandlot kids?
yeah, I have. Yeah.
How good's that scene? That could be Declan, just gender reverse.
That was a great movie.
What was the kid's name with the glasses that she ends up kissing?
Smalls.
Yeah, that's it. Fuck, you've taken me back here. Taking me back. I'm going to watch that tomorrow.
I don't think he's a real old bloke.
Yeah. No, what a dream job, Paul Lifeguard. Thanks, Deck, for your support. Please don't cancel your subscription. I'm going to thank Ian Hurley. Pretty sure he's from Ireland and works at Trinity College in Dublin. There was also an Ian Hurley who ran 2:40 at this year's London Marathon. Not sure if that's the same person, but if it is, that's a rapid time. And congratulations on the 2:40, Ian. Fun fact for you, boys, the Brigidine nuns, sisters, they started all the Catholic schools in Echuca Moama from Ireland. There's a fun fact for you, so we've got a bit in common there.
How many Catholic schools in Echuca Moama?
One primary school. They built a new one in Moama in a couple of years, got some land for it, and one secondary school, St. Joseph's College.
So the church owns that land?
The church owns the land they've purchased in Moama, yeah, but it's a different different church because it's on the New South Wales side, not the Victorian side, whereas the other schools are on the Victorian side in Echuca.
What, so the church is state-based?
No,
Victorian.
they're called like dioceses. Yeah, so they got their own like borders within the state.
I don't know anything about this stuff.
So Echuca is in what they call the Sandhurst diocese, which includes like Bendigo, Shepparton, and then I don't know what the New South Wales one is. I reckon it goes up to like Wagga and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Technical stuff. Anyway, Ian, you didn't think we were going to go there, but you might know a bit about that if you work at the Trinity College in Dublin. Now, what are we up to? Listener question, Bradley?
There's a few here. Have a quick look. Anyone jumps out at you that we want to tackle? Or do I just choose one?
I can answer the third one easy. How much stretching mobility do you guys do? Can you touch your toes? No, I can't. That's from, is it Ralphie Goad? Can't do very little. Should do way more. Occasionally get the massage gun out. If it's a really important race or like workout, I might get the, what are those bands called?
Oh, yeah, like TheraBand?
Yeah, do like the crab walk, do a couple of those things. But, yes, very low on my priority list.
All right, well, that's the question we're going with. I can touch my toes. I don't do much stretching or mobility. I do, however, and I've been doing this now for, I reckon since the start of this year, before every single run, I do some, like those crab walk type things with the band. So it's in my car. So I get out of the car at Mulligan's and then out the front of somebody's house. I'm just up and down the street doing a few of those and a few of the diagonal ones as well, both forwards and backwards. And then I'm a bit like you, Brady. Like occasionally if I feel like I'm a bit tight in areas, I'll pull out the massage gun. And I do a little bit of probably more activation stuff at home, like, single leg sort of glute bridges, that sort of thing up on the couch and some split squat stuff, but it's all just body weight type stuff. But yeah, I don't do a lot of stretching and mobility.
Moose?
Yeah, stretching. I occasionally do a stretch called World's Greatest Stretch, and it's when you go out in like the push-up position, and you bring your foot on one side up, so that you're in like a half kind of lunge position. And then you open up your shoulders. You'll have to Google it. And that, to me, that I do that before workouts occasionally, and I do it before my gym session. But that's pretty much the end for me. But in terms of mobility, I do some light Pilates reformer stuff on the nights that I'm not doing a heavy gym session. So I get on there and I just have like really weak cables on, or what do you call them, springs. And I just do some squats on the reformer bed. I do some calf stuff on the reformer bed and a few glute things, bit of hamstring stuff and some core. It's more mobility than it is strength. I can't touch my toes.
Do you ever do it before you go for a run? Like, because anytime I've done some like activation or just some like home gym stuff that's not very heavy and I go out for a run, I definitely feel like I move better.
Oh, 100%.
Like
straight out the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas, and like it's in a way, it's no different to if I go for a run first thing in the morning and I've done nothing to me going for a run in the afternoon. I move way better in the afternoon because, okay, I haven't done activation as such, but I have just been moving around. And so everything's loosened off. And so I move better in the afternoon than I do in the morning. The only way I move well in the morning is if I do spend 20 minutes, doing some stuff at home before I go for a run.
Yeah. If I had the time, I would do that. I don't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
I say that, but then I find like an hour and 40 minutes a day to run.
Oh, you mean like cut your run?
Yeah. Why don't I do that and do 50 minutes instead of not doing it and doing 60 minutes and feel like shit for the first 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Because you want to get to 60 minutes.
Because the volume's more important to you.
Yeah, 100%.
But you could argue though that somebody who runs as much as Brady, like him knocking 10 or 15k off a week and doing some of that may be more beneficial. Yeah. But somebody that's only running 40k a week, they're definitely better off running 50k a week than spending that time doing this sort of stuff, I reckon.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and in terms of the touching your toes thing, that's really not it's not really relevant for distance runners. So the joke here in Canberra was that when people used to ask Rob De Castella to touch his toes, he literally would get down to about his knees. So he's a guy that, could get nowhere near his toes, but, could definitely run.
Tight muscles and rigid muscles are more economical, aren't they?
Well, like a spring, isn't it?
Yeah. You want them bound. You want them done tight. Probably to a point, though.
Yeah. But supposedly he was pretty bad at getting down, touching his toes.
Yeah.
Good question. Moose on the loose, purchase of the week. What have you been doing?
Oh, not much purchasing. Not much.
You would
not
have
at
stayed
all.
in a nice hotel in Melbourne, wouldn't you?
Nah. We were at the Seasons Botanical, and that's just across from the Tan. So it's basically at the Shrine there, right next to the Christian Science, the Christian Science Church, which we got the organs on Sunday morning. That was pleasant, and it was one bedroom, but it was massive. It was huge. It was only like $230 for the night. Bloody great deal, actually. We've stayed there a few times. Ran into Hutchie in the lobby. He stays there every time as well. He had a good run, by the way. Shout out Hutchie. Ran 2:23 something for another well-executed marathon. But, Moose on the loose. This is one I've mentioned before, but I just don't get it why elite runners just don't be honest about why they do races. And the reason being that it's great money and a paycheck. Like, the race puts on the prize money. It entices you to enter. You're like, hey, I'm probably not going to run a PB here, but that's really good prize money, so I'm going to do it. It's okay to say that. There's nothing shameful about entering a race purely to win money from it. Like, that's your job. That's the reason people go and play fucking golf tournaments in the middle of nowhere, to win money. It's the reason that you ran the marathon on the weekend. That's fine. Just say it. It's all good. We don't care. Just don't make up another bloody whole story around it. You've seen that before.
Yeah. Do you think it's like the unprofessional side of our sport, that it's all like, I just love running, it's good for me, it's good to be in the running community, yada, yada, yada. Like, we just don't seem to, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Hey, it's your job. This is where you get paid.
I appreciate the honesty, though. Yeah. I would love the honesty.
I'm with you.
I think there's more to it as well, Moose. I think it's more about, hey, if you say these other things like, I'm doing it for fun, like, don't judge my actual performance in 2 days' time. Like, because I'm not I'm not as fit as I want to be or should be.
That's definitely that plays a part for sure. Don't judge me when I run poorly, but I'll still take your 15 grand or whatever.
Yeah.
That's good.
The other thing, and this is a Melbourne thing, because I don't spend a lot of time in Melbourne anymore, but why do all these adult men, and like not just young 20s, I'm talking like late 20s into their 30s, they're wearing all these like bushwalking hiking clothes, like jackets and pants and hiking shoes, and they like pretend that they're some sort of either bushwalker, but then they behave and they also trying to appear like they're like a 15-year-old kid from a lower socioeconomic area, like with their haircuts and the sunglasses they wear. And it's just the most bizarre thing, and you only really see it in the city in Melbourne. It's real weird. Yeah. Like, imagine a 15-year-old kid who's from the wrong side of the tracks, looks across, sees this mid-30s guy who's been to a public school, probably still lives off his mum's tit, wearing the same shit that he's wearing, acting like him, dressing like him, getting his hair cut like him. He's like, wait a second, why do they want to look like us? We look like us because we have to.
Do you know somebody in particular, Moose, that you want to call out here?
The funny thing is, though, those people wouldn't be able to survive in the places where those other people are from.
Oh, no way.
Give them 35 seconds on those streets.
Mate, you put them in Nepal hiking, they're not surviving. They got the gear for it, but they can't fucking hike. And they're not going to survive in downtown Corio or Norlane in Geelong. But I don't know.
I do notice it every time I go to Melbourne, yeah. I agree.
It's the Melbourne thing, it's fucking crazy. I don't, like, it's like a different world up there. I mean, I don't understand fashion, so this is the other thing. I'm not
You're a pretty fashionable guy.
No, I don't think so.
You know what's dominating in Echuca Moama at the moment? Well, it's been doing it for a while. People wearing these, like, white fox hoodies. And I don't mean, like, is it white fox? It's some brand.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Every single person's got a hoodie on that has white fox written on the back of it. And it's not like motorbike fox croaks and the stuff that you wear. Like, this is, I don't know what this trend is, but all these chicks are wearing these white fox hoodies around Echuca Moama.
I've seen them everywhere around here too.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a country thing, Moose. Maybe that's what we're doing.
I see them in Geelong. I reckon Geelong and Echuca could be pretty similar fashion trends.
Whoever's selling them is making a killing.
Yeah, let's get onto that, actually. That could be some...
3, like, mid-30s plus a 42-year-old talking about fashion.
They're always white or pink, these jumpers too, aren't they?
Yeah, just got white fox written on the back. Like, they don't look like good hoodies at all. But anyway. Yeah. Hey, can I go loose on the how late the elite fields were released for Melbourne Marathon? Put in a request last Monday. Hey, I want to go on my podcast that has 15,000 listeners every week to hype up your events and come up with some storylines. Don't get a reply. Still haven't got a reply. I've obviously pissed someone off to not be able to get the names, but I just thought it was way too late. Friday night they gave exclusive access to Straight At It, Mitch Dwyer, who's running that account. But this is like too late. You don't have enough time for the storylines. You don't have enough time to build hype. I was talking to Gemma Friday afternoon, and she didn't even know who was officially in that elite field at the time. So I don't think it's fair for the elite athletes. And I just watch how Sydney made like Brett and Sinead just like absolutely like superstars. Announce them early, build the stories around them, get them doing media, all that kind of stuff. And I've seen Gold Coast do it as well, like the press conferences they hold 2 or 3 days out and the storylines they produce around that. And I just thought Melbourne missed a massive trick not giving it to us, or not just us, like out there in the public sphere for people to be able to talk about.
Who's in charge of that though, Brady? Like who? So
I don't know. Like if they got like a publicity.
You approach somebody for it, but like so Melbourne Marathon's own. So it's owned by is it IMG?
I don't know who does it. Yeah. I hit up like the person I usually hit up for to get when I want to race at Melbourne Marathon, but I don't know if there's a publicity team or who it is, and then like when they did release them, it was like like Archie's name was on the half, like he hadn't even entered, and I'm like I don't even know how his name like appeared there, and yeah, there are a few like mistakes, and I'm just like, we can't sit here and complain that our sport doesn't get eyeballs and stuff, and then not promote the best people in our races.
Well, Liam's name wasn't on that elite list originally, was it?
I don't know if it was, but this shit to me as well. They had to use images of Nike athletes because it's a Nike event. So on the women's half marathon, they have a picture of Sinead. She wasn't even listed as racing in the half marathon. And then a picture of Brett there, and I'm like, picture of Tim Vincent. He's up in Brisbane doing a race. I'm like, this is messy, and it was just poorly done, I thought. But anyway, that's just my little rant there.
You got more, though?
I've got whispers. Oh, I haven't got whispers. I'm opening my DMs. They're always open. But I want to know. I'd asked you this same question today, Moose. Talking about Sinead. I'm watching the stream. There's a lot of Melbourne Marathon talk in this episode, but I think it's all relevant.
Brady, before you get to that,
yes.
So I'm actually on... So who got to officially announce the elite fields? Who was it?
Straight At It.
Yeah, so I'm on their Instagram page. Oh, sorry, Liam Adams is there. Sorry. All good. He was on it, yeah.
He was getting ready to go off the top right there, wasn't he, Moose?
Yeah.
Coming down hard.
But he was singlet, like, he was bib number 32 or something.
He didn't have,
must have been like last minute.
Yeah, it must have been last minute. I'm watching the stream yesterday. Like, all the Nike big dogs are there, but not Sinead. Like, Stewie's holding the tape. Mona's on the mic and stuff. And then I'm like, where is Sinead? Like, how come Sinead doesn't have a role there at Melbourne Marathon? She's the national marathon record holder and the course record holder of the Melbourne Marathon. Like, the queen of Australian marathoning. And I'm just like, where's Sinead? Like,
well, not just that. Like,
surely...
why isn't Sinead part of Nike's plan for this marathon to, like, build... Like, Nike have Sinead in Australia. Yet they use influencers, like posters of people that aren't elite athletes. And
all the ads that were going through the streams, all the Nike ads were people like models, I don't know who they were, but people running in Nike gear that wasn't, I don't even think they were from Australia.
So, our biggest demographic that comes in our running store is I'm going to say 40 to 55-year-old lady. And that lady's just starting to get back to exercise after having kids, and she's eyeing off a half marathon. She wants to start running again. And who's the inspiration right there? Sinead is the pin-up girl for that type of demographic, who are the main customer of our running store, which means must be the main customer of a lot of the whole industry out there. And you have Sinead, who is just one of the best stories we've ever had. Nike have her in the pocket and don't use it. They use other people. I don't know. What, are they better on a microphone or something? Why would they do that?
I'm just confused. It's not. I actually don't know an answer. I'm just I just stood out to me when I was watching the thing in full today. I'm like, hang on, when's Sinead popping up? And she didn't. Anyway, I'm going to try to get her and Ali on a catch-up show for Patreon. I don't know, ask her then. But yeah. Now, there's another whisper here, which I have no idea what it is, but it's in my colour, so I'll read it out. It says $100,000 salary offered to the Saucony team. What does that mean, Moose?
What Saucony team?
Did you write this, Croaks?
No, it wasn't me.
Anyway,
someone's got on this page and written that.
I reckon it's Zaka.
Zaka's written that.
Could be a new pro team coming to Australia, throwing out big money salaries.
Cockett, you got $100,000 in Australia to dish out to an athlete?
To one athlete, is it?
Well, or there's each athlete that's in the team.
10
Get
athletes,
out of town.
$10,000 each.
But they're going to have to go after some big names with that salary.
Okay.
Zaka, he's got to explain himself.
I forget Zaka on. I reckon Zaka got probably 6 months worth of whispers yesterday afternoon.
Oh, he's got a few. That's probably where it's come from. Yeah, he can come on one week. I'm going to give him a show, actually. That's coming
Give
up.
him his own show, you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon. Put him on a panel. He'll be good. He can host. He's good at hosting.
You ever listen to that other podcast they do, Croaks?
The Run to PB one? Yeah, I listen every week. That's a good show.
I said Croaks. I didn't say you.
Yeah, well, I'm answering for Croaks.
No, I haven't listened.
Croaks doesn't listen.
I'm not judging Zaka until I listen to one, and there ain't no way I'm listening to one.
Croaks doesn't listen to any other podcast, though, Moose. He's not the guy to have as your yardstick for listening to podcasts.
Got one on. He just got us on repeat.
Yeah, I don't think he even listens to us.
No, I do not listen to us. I was thinking though, one day it would actually be good to go back and listen to some episodes from 2017, 2018.
Couldn't do it. It'd be too cringy.
Yeah.
Way too cringy. I wouldn't survive. I would jump out of the car if I was trying to listen.
It'd be nice to listen one week and remember what it was like to be like a runner when I was actually training a bit.
Oh, just go to recap week from Lake Biwa.
Yeah, I've never listened to that.
We should pull some quotes from that.
From what?
Pull some quotes from the recap week, Croaks' recap of Lake Biwa when he ran his
3
PB.
years after.
Well, 2:17. No one was running 2:17 back then. That was outstanding.
Because he
back
jumped
then.
you, didn't he? You'd run
2:18. He
2:18.
was going to the Olympics there. At that point,
he was going to World Champs. Remember the World Champs just before that? The guys were running 2:17, 2:18s.
Yeah. He was locked in.
Yeah. Jeez, what could have been, Croaks?
Yeah. Backpack fucked me in Melbourne.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Melbourne curse. All right, boys, let's wrap this up. What's coming up between now and next week? Moose, you want to promo these races? Jan 6, Surf Coast Track Club 5 and 10,000 metre races on the track.
Yeah, so we locked that date in. That's sorted. Surf Coast Track Night. We're going to do... It's going to be limited spots here because we don't have all day. We've got a certain amount of time. We've got 3 races, 3 5K. There's going to be 25 people in each. Got 30 people in the 10K. So that's 60 people accommodated for the 10K. We got a few entry requirements, I guess we'll call them. Pretty generous. Yeah, we'll touch on that when we get to it. But if you're looking for that, if you're that rec runner who wants to try a track race, lock it in Jan 6. You don't have to be an AV member. You certainly can sign up with Deakin Athletics if you want, but you can enter without an AV membership, come down, have a really fun night on the track. We're going to have a sponsor there. We're going to have a couple of sponsors there. We're going to have a little carnival type atmosphere. It's going to be fun.
Wear whatever shoes you want. Don't worry about spikes.
That's right. Yeah, wear whatever shoes you want.
No intimidation here. You just come and just run around the track 12 and a half times or 25 times.
That's right.
I reckon the cutoffs will be Moose because I feel like there's a bit of tracksmith here. Hey, just a bit of elitist.
Mate,
this is a jogging race.
This ain't a fun run. We can't shut down the roads for 7 hours. This is a track. You got to get in, get off. But it's generous. It's generous, all right?
Just book it for a few extra hours. Let people go around.
Mate, volunteers. You can't have someone out there for 7 hours in the sun.
Oh, yeah. It's night, though, isn't it, this race?
People give up their time for this for a fucking sandwich.
Is it a night race?
It's a night race, surely.
Yeah, twilight race. Twilight. So it'll go into the evening, but there's pretty long
money?
session. No prize money. We're not about that.
We should donate something from Inside Running.
No, there's going to be spot prizes, like door prizes, that kind of thing. For some reason, they don't want to do prize money. Not when I say they, I mean I got to talk to the. I got to get on top of this. But there's a stipulation here saying no prize money.
We could have naming rights, Croaks.
Yeah, surely. Dish out a couple of pairs of shoes, Moose.
He'll make me cut. He'll make me cut that, Moose.
I'm definitely a sponsor. I'm a sponsor, but Croaks ain't dishing out any of these funds for the fucking the running community.
What are you doing, Croaks, between now and next week?
Going back to work. I haven't worked for ages, and I think we're heading down to the coast on the weekend. See
another holiday?
Just for the weekend.
Second holiday in 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, mum and dad are selling their house, the house that I grew up in, and so
really?
we're not going to have a house down the coast at all soon. I think mum and dad are going to move up Queensland. So we've got to go and get down there before we don't have the house anymore.
Why don't you buy the house?
Because I'm staying in Canberra.
Yeah, but the second
Weren't you looking down there for a holiday house?
Yeah, but we're going to upgrade and get a better Canberra house. So the coast house will go on the back burner for a bit.
Must be nice, Brady.
Must be very, very nice. The guy just said he hasn't worked for like 6 weeks, but he's upgrading houses.
Works 2 days a week. Upgrading the house, might think about a holiday house later.
All right, we're ending here before we get too deep into your financial matters. See you next week, fellas.
See ya. Special thanks to On for sponsoring this episode of the Inside Running podcast. On Track Night series takes over the Zatopek 10 this December in Melbourne. On Track Night celebrates the running community. The shared passion, the competition and the camaraderie, it's all there. High energy affairs with loud crowds pushing athletes to greater heights. Join us as Lakeside Stadium comes to life on December 2nd. Visit ontracknights.com for more information.
Show love to everyone you meet. Doesn't matter if it don't come